Hi everyone and welcome back to another Rootstock Collective Builder Spotlight. And today we have got a Rootstock OG with us. We have got Mauricio, who is the co-founder of Tropykus. Thanks for joining us today.
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And I feel a little old when someone tell me that I'm an OG.
No, not at all. Bitcoin's still young. It's good. So let's start with you, Mauricio. So obviously, Tropicus was one of the earliest projects on Rootstock, but it would be good to rewind even further. Tell us a bit about your personal story, how you got into Web3 and what inspired you to build something that kind of blends DeFi and real world impact.
Yeah, my past professional life was in the academia. I was a co-director of a research group. And in that group, we had some ICT innovation laboratories and other type of projects. And we started to research about the blockchain technology. And in that moment, we worked a lot with the public sector. So we started some projects with the municipality of Bogota in Colombia around voting process in Colombian public processes for selecting their leaders, the students selecting their leaders. Also, with the Land Registry Authority, we developed a project of land registry in that institution, and also with the General Inspector Office and with the World Economic Forum, we developed a project for public procurement using blockchain. And in that moment, the private sector started to ask for this kind of developments and software developments and things like that. And we created a company that is True Web3. And creating True Web3, that is a software development company, we started to see how the banks treat us very bad. And we are very well connected here also with the banking association. And we every time I went to the bank, I say to the people of my team, we need to do something because this is so bad services. And if they treat us like this, imagine the rest of the people that don't have the contacts.
Yeah.
And also, my brother used to live in Argentina, and I faced with him the devaluation process several times. And also, our country neighbor, Venezuela, that suffered hyperinflation.
Yeah,
and some people of our teams were suffering about they need some loans to buy homes and software developers, and you know that they win good money in salary, and they were rejected. So
really?
in that moment, we say we need to do something, and that's why we created Tropykus in that moment. Yeah, that's the
wow.
journey.
That's a very cool journey. So it kind of really came about learning all about it, understanding to actually helping fix your own problems.
Yeah. Actually, my inspiration was my brother with the inflation problems in Argentina, the devaluation problems. So yeah, that was part of the problem. And also that the banks treat me very bad
Of course.
when I was trying to open a bank account and the digital part of the management of the account for the other company.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so that kind of then took you to Tropicus. So in a nutshell, obviously a lot of people who know Rootstock know Tropicus, but for anyone who's listening that's new to Tropicus, it'd be great to understand, in a nutshell, what are you building, who it's for, the financial problems you're solving, and how it might differ from other DeFi protocols.
Yeah, well, for sure. Tropicus is a lending protocol where you can do two main things. One is to save money in US dollars and to yield around 6 or 7%. It's variable, but it's very stable between those numbers. And also, if you have Bitcoin and you don't want to spend it, you want to have it for the long term, or you want to give it to your sons when you die, but you need liquidity, you need money for pay your rent or to pay your bills or to do an investment in a business, you can use it like very similar like a mortgage. You can put those Bitcoin in Tropicus and you can access to a loan with that collateral without asking anybody and with full transparency in around 2 minutes. You can do all of that.
Okay, wow.
So yeah, and what are the problems that we are trying to solve with this solution? The main problems that Latin Americans are facing in the region. For example, inflation. The main way to hedge inflation in the region is access to US dollars. But places like Colombia or Brazil, you cannot open a US dollar bank account. It's not allowed. You can open it in other places like in Panama, but it's costly. It takes a lot of time. It's very restricted. And also in the past, there are some limitations to access to US dollars in places like Venezuela or in Argentina. So the Tropicus is an alternative to hedge inflation in the region. And also, the interest rates in Latin America are very high. On average, according to the central bank in Brazil, the Brazilians paid in 2024 300% or 300
Wow.
APY with their credit cards. And
Wow.
a year ago in Argentina, on average, was 200% legal by the banks. No, I'm not talking about
Yeah.
illegal loans, that
Yeah.
it's even higher. And in Colombia, for example, it's legal for microloans 55%. So it's very difficult for the Latin Americans to pay those loans. It's
Yeah, of
like a
course.
it's like a trap, a debt
Yeah.
trap. It's very difficult to access to loans. But
Yeah.
if you can access, you need to pay very high interest rates. So those are the main problems that we're trying to solve with Tropicus.
Well, they're pretty big problems. And so it'd be great to deep dive into some specific use cases that you have, of individuals who have used your product and used Tropicus. It'd be good to jump into some of those.
Yeah, for sure. We have around half of the users, we see the activity on chain, and half of the users are long-term users for
Okay.
saving in US dollars and also long-term borrowers. And the other half are like short-term borrowers.
Yeah.
The short-term borrowers are people that are very active when the price of Bitcoin is very volatile, like in
Yeah.
this moment, and they want to or buy the dip or to buy more Bitcoin to
Yeah.
leverage or to. It's very risky to do it in that sense to do that kind of strategies, but we see that kind of behavior on chain, maybe 40% of the activity.
Okay.
The other 60% is people that are trying to use their to save money for the long term or to access to loans for long-term use cases. For
Yeah.
example, to buy a motorcycle because you need that tool to work, and
Yeah.
with that work, you can pay your loan. Other people is building, and we know, three houses in Argentina and in Uruguay.
Oh,
So three
wow.
houses in this moment are being built, and we expect to the end of the year to visit them and to show in the social media of Tropicus those houses that were built using Tropicus with loans with Tropicus. But other
That's
people also
amazing.
using it because they need to get to the end of the month because some emergency or something. Some
Yeah.
people finance their own wedding. That is also very risky. You have to manage your and yeah, we have people buying cameras, people buying stores or investing in stores. People are investing in these energy systems, temporary energy
Okay.
systems in Venezuela because they suffer of very
Yeah.
frequent shutdowns in the energy. So yeah, you can see all of those use cases in our social media. They share with us those use cases, and we have the permission to talk about them. But certainly, there is a lot of more use cases that we don't know.
No, absolutely. And I mean, do you have a personal favorite? What's the kind of one where you're like, oh, okay.
The favorite is maybe one girl. There was a Saturday, and some user says in the Telegram group of Tropicus that I invite you to join us in Telegram. I have a problem with the platform, and I answer. I can manage your case. Let's go to a meet link. And the problem for her was that she was using all of their Bitcoin to access for a loan, and she didn't reserve a small amount for the fees to
Uh,
pay the fees of the blockchain. And we saw that in 2 minutes, and I asked her, "Why are you using Tropicus?" And she told me that she was Venezuelan, she was living in Argentina, and
yeah.
she came to residency and find a new work in Paraguay. And when she gets to Paraguay, the employer says to her that he will pay 1 month after she expected to be paid.
Uh,
So she didn't know anyone in Paraguay. The banks
yeah.
didn't have any history of the banking system.
Yeah, of
The only
course.
alternative was some savings in Bitcoin that she started to accumulate in Venezuela. And she told me, if you didn't exist, I didn't have any other option. I don't know what I should do. But the most
Wow.
interesting thing is that I visited 2 years ago one place that it's in the border of Paraguay, Argentina, and Brazil. And I was doing the line with my family, and someone told me, "Hey, Mauricio, I am that user that you attend in town." And she was with her girlfriend, and we took a coffee in a place that didn't leave and I didn't leave. So that was amazing to see that we can meet the real users in places like that.
That is such a great story. That's very, very cool. Awesome. And so obviously Rootstock from basically day one. So you've been building on Rootstock since the early days. And it'd be great to hear more about, why Rootstock? Why was it the right foundation for Tropicus?
Yeah, there are several reasons on why Rootstock. The first one is because we believe since the beginning, 4 years ago, that Bitcoin is the best money, that Bitcoin is the best store of value. And
Yeah.
we wanted to build the best financial services on top of the best money. So that
Yeah.
was and Rootstock is the best sidechain in my perspective for Bitcoin. The second reason was because Rootstock was founded by Argentinians, and they know very well
Yeah.
the situation of the region, and we shared that kind of mission with
Yeah.
different technology. But there were also another projects building in the chain that also were from Latin America. So we
Yeah.
saw the best ecosystem to build and to try to solve the problems of the Latin Americans, each project with different technology. And the final reason was the fees. In that moment, Ethereum was very expensive, and we want
Yeah.
to attend regular people. And yeah, the best option was Rootstock. That's why we selected Rootstock to be Tropicus.
Yeah, absolutely. And you haven't just built on Rootstock, but you've also helped shape Rootstock Collective itself. So you've been involved since inception with Rootstock Collective. In fact, I think you've been part of Rootstock Collective longer than I have. So how did you first get involved in the DAO and kind of how have you seen it grow over time?
Yeah, we started asking the community to support us in the DAO, and I think that it's a good moment to thank them because right now, after the Friends of Money on Chain, we are the second in the builders section of the DAO,
Yeah.
and we have been having a very good and close relationship with the DAO and with the organization of Roostocks. Thinking right now to present some improvements that we are working on that
Yeah.
other projects of the ecosystem can benefit on of them, and we are some of them we develop those solutions for us, but we are going to open it to the other projects so they can benefit too, and we can build together as an ecosystem. And I think that the best way to build things is for our own needs, that normally it's the needs of the other projects. So yeah, it's been great to have this kind of ideas of campaigns to have the support of the community, and I think that the DAO is a very good strategy for to grow in the future.
That's great to hear. And has any feedback influenced your work? Are there any kind of standout moments that stick out so far?
Yeah, everything can be improved, and we share some feedback. I remember that was a very old conversation that we have with the team around how the percentage should be improved to have maybe a cap or something like that. So because it's going to in the long term, all of the projects will be 99%, 100% for,
Yeah.
and I think that is not healthy, that kind of behavior. So yeah, but it's not very important. It's just a secondary thing. We are
100%.
building the solutions for the users, and yeah, it's just a small feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're definitely working on that at the moment to make sure that although it's great to give it all back to the backers, that the builders get someone so they can keep building and, improving the ecosystem. So that feedback has been taken on board. You'll be glad to hear.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And so, obviously, advice for new builders. You've gone through the full builder journey yourself from early launch on Rootstock, DAO collaboration, and obviously, building a well established project. What would you say to new builders looking to launch or looking to build on Rootstock today? Are there any tips or lessons you can share?
Yeah, I think there's some tips and lessons that in any acceleration program and everything they told you, and you listen to them, and it's like, yeah, that is so obvious. But at the end, you make the same mistakes. It's like
Of course.
um, first is launch faster and safer. In Web3, you need to be
Yeah.
safe, but you need to test if what you're thinking that the market needs, the market really
Yeah.
needs. And if you spend a lot of months designing and doing and prototyping and doing the perfect project, you are not going to test it. We spent 9 months developing Tropykus, and I can tell you to the other builders and founders that we learned more in the first launch month than in
Okay.
the other nine
Wow.
months. That is very important. And the second is to listen to the users. Everybody tells you and we all make the same mistakes. It's like we focus on other things, and the main important thing is to listen to the users. So yeah, those two tips that are very common, that are very obvious, but I talk with several founders, and we all make the same mistakes.
That's a great advice. And so going back to Tropicus, what's next? Can you share anything that's coming up, whether there's new features, expansion, anything that you can share with us today?
Yeah, for sure. We have been working with the last technologies of security, and we are integrating them. We have been working several months on that. That is very important for us. We think that we offer two services. One is security, and the second is lending.
Yeah.
And that is very important and core for us. We are also looking for other integration that tokens, very important tokens like USDT zero, that
Yeah.
it's now in the ecosystem and in the chain, and other integrations. And yeah, we are thinking how to improve the user experience to every day do these kind of technologies and services more easily for regular people. We are partnering with Rams. We are working together with the ecosystem to solve this problem. So yeah, it's an exciting future for Rootstock and for Tropykus.
That's what we love to hear. So, for anyone who's listening to kind of follow you on your journey, what's the best way to keep up to date with all the good stuff that's going on at Tropicus?
I think the Telegram group, it's a good idea. If you want to talk, to ask anything, the community will try to solve it if they know, if we know. If not, we're going to do the work. And in social media, Tropicus, the official Tropicus Twitter is very active, but we are also in LinkedIn. We are also in Instagram, sharing information, education. Yeah, trying to communicate what is happening in the protocol also. So yeah, very invited to join us.
Absolutely. And although you're second on the list, it's always good to have as much support as possible. So everyone can also find you on the builder section in the D app as well.
Yeah, any support will be we will be very, very grateful on that. And any idea that you have, we're very open to listen, not
Yeah.
only in the DAO, but also in the app, because we want to improve every day, and we want to solve the problems that you face in your region, in your country. And we're very open to learn about that and to work and to be able to solve it.
Absolutely. Well, Mauricio, it's been an absolute pleasure catching up today. I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, Eleanor. Thank you to the whole team, and it was a pleasure to share with you. Thank you very much.
Bye.